welcome to Director's Notes, and thank you for taking the time to speak to me.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. So, would you just mind sort of introducing yourself and your film a bit?
So I'm Eirik Tveiten. I'm the writer and director of Night Ride, currently Oscar nominated.
Yes, how does that feel?
Strange, but it's good. It's overwhelming, I would say.
But all good things for the film.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. So, how did this film come to be then? How did you come to be writing the script?
So yeah, I had an initial setting for the film, which was inspired by a friend of mine that was uh, not so careful during our youth. So he actually took off with the tram as Ebba does in the film.
Okay.
That's just a subplot. The main plot is the part with the social issue with a person on board being harassed and Ebba having to uh, figure out how to solve that and be confronted with her fear and her try to summon courage
Hmm.
to solve the situation.
So, did you always write the script in view of Ebba having dwarfism?
No, so you know the the script goes through quite a few rewrites, and but when we were auditioning for the part, it was just a general for a woman in her 30s, and then Sigrid uh, came to the audition, which we had in Trondheim, which is not where I'm based, but where we were going to shoot the film. And yeah, she was just so good. So it was easy to choose her, and she plays the part really well. She's really expressful, and her stature, since she's so short, makes the an impact because she's confronted to these two blokes on the tram, which is it's not a fair match. So
No.
yeah.
No, well, it's interesting because I was talking to my partner about it last night, and because obviously it works so well because she's suffered prejudice, her entire life.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Did you have to change anything in the script then upon casting her?
No, um, not at all. So we just kept it the same, and yeah, that a few adjustments on practical things, driving the tram and stuff. But no, that was not necessary to change the script. There would be some uh, dialogue that was a bit different,
Of
but
course.
otherwise, the main plot was the same.
Brilliant. So, I mean, one thing I wanted to ask you, you spoke about the tram and a friend of yours getting one in youth. How did you manage to get a tram and to take it over and for all the filming?
Well, that was a problem actually, or it was at least a challenge because in Oslo we have this huge tram company that there wasn't didn't want us. They read the script, and to be honest, they didn't feel that this was uh, representational for their what we call in Norwegian omdømme, but that their reputation. So that's that was kind of a weird answer, but and that made it it was quite a huge challenge for us because we were on a low budget and we had to move to another city pretty far away and but then we once we got to Trondheim and the tram company was really friendly. They they went really out of their way to do so many good things for our production, and it was that was just it was really a good thing to be there, because going to Trondheim generally gave the film so many things, with the set design, of course, the kind of old tram, and all the surroundings and the atmosphere of the woods and the town of Trondheim were really suitable for the film.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they added to sort of the ambience and everything.
Yeah.
You shot at Christmas time.
Mm.
Was that a decision? Was that something that was in the script?
So that's a good question. Actually, I can't remember if that was in the script early, but once we decided, we got the funding. I saw that Christmas time gives us uh, a lot of opportunities, and that was one thing, was the snow, the cold.
Yeah.
The other thing was what Christmas uh, represents for people. It's a time of being kind, these things, which is a contrast to what's going on the tram, and also it becomes a little bit of a fairy tale with the lighting and the atmosphere there. So that was a good choice. I honestly can't remember when that came into the script. No.
Okay, no, that's interesting because, like you said, it's supposed to be a time of love and giving and joy, and the film doesn't represent that.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose to talk about sort of this injustice and the trans rights and things that you address in your film?
Okay, so the thing is, I was, in general, I wanted to talk about the social issue, which there are many of. So you have to just pick and choose there, and then I was discussing this with a producer, and we, when we were in development with the script, we chose that um, uh, a meeting between Ebba and a trans person would be a good solution for the film, and that's I agree on that being an important issue, but even more so, I would say, my producer, that saw something there that would be a good thing, and then also it when once you put it into the story, you get some twists and turns with the wig, and the the young guy harassing that misunderstands, and so it gives a lot to the story, but this is an important issue, but along, for me, the film is a metaphor, about being different, and being accepted for being different, and that goes for so many groups in society.
I agree. And one thing as well, watching the film, and just I watched it again this morning, is at the beginning, when Ebba gets on the tram and she steals it and she just starts going, it's very light-hearted, it's very funny.
Hmm.
But then obviously you move quite suddenly into that threat and that menace.
Hmm.
It's a short film, so you had a short time to do it. How did you change that atmosphere so quickly?
You just have to try it out and see if it works. We believed that it would work. I thought so, but during all filmmakers will know this. During a process, you get you get challenged by people that read this. Okay, so this is a so why don't you keep a serious tone all the way? Why does it have to involve these the subplot and the twists and turns, and that is, that's kind of, I guess, who I am as a filmmaker. I wanted to have these contrasts and to try to make it work, because that gives a lot to a film when the audience is taken on, on a journey like that, because it gives a lot of contradicting feelings. You feel that this is a comedy, and then it goes into a dark space where that kind of it can confront us on a different level, because we're not expecting that to happen, which is a good thing. I like when I watch a film or a TV series, and when I'm a little bit surprised and I get torn by the different feelings, it's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. You want to, and I think that's one of the challenges as well with a short film. You've only got a certain amount of time, and to take your audience on that journey. How did you decide on the runtime? It's always a tricky one with a short.
It is. So people that join festivals with shorts, they're always told, keep it as short as possible, and preferably below 15 minutes. Now we couldn't do that, so it's a little bit more than 15 minutes, but that's the art of short film, because it has to be short. The festivals will prioritize the short films because they want as many as possible into the program, and as longer a short film gets, it more difficult it is to enter or be accepted into a festival. So that's two things to consider and to balance out. I felt that it worked well for our film, but now I'm in the editing process of a new short film, and I've got all the dilemmas. I show it to my colleagues, and they say, you just have to cut it. You just have to take out scenes, make it shorter, make it have this impact that a short film should have. It's not a feature. You can't tell so much. It's a small an art form. You have to find to be able to tell not too much, but enough in a short span of time. So yeah, that's a challenge. At first we see, okay, so is it possible to make this below 15 minutes? Because that's kind of a magical thing. Some festivals won't accept films more than 10 or 15 or even 20 minutes. So you try to make it as short as possible, but you can't compromise. I've done that before also, and I'm trying to rush things, and that's not a good thing either. You can see it while you're writing the manuscript, but then you're not so critical, or people will be critical, and in development will say, okay, so does this have to be this long? But you experience it for for real when you're editing, because then you get panicked by that. You see that, wow, we are here we have a long film, and it's not. How can we make it shorter? Because it's so much. It will be so more beneficial to have a short film in the festival. Rounds and taking it out on the road.
Yeah, no, it's a difficult one. What about your ending? I've watched the film a few times now, and the first time, I don't know, I get different feelings about the ending every time.
It's up to taste, because it's quite a sweet ending, but some people would feel it's too sweet. Some people would say it's not ambiguous enough, to be, or that it doesn't have this this quality that many short films have where we're wondering, it stays with us because we can't really, we don't know really how it ends. And here it's pretty final. It's something I consider. So how can we, where do we stop this? For Night Ride, yeah, I think that was the best solution. For other films like the one I'm editing now, I'm really uncertain how to end that. I had an idea, and now I'm looking at different options. We're considering ending it in two so different ways that the whole meaning of the film comes out really different. The message of the film, and that's the joy and the possibilities you have. But the best thing is to be pretty, have this solved out before you you get to the editing. But this happens all the time. I think for features, probably TV series as well, people look at this and they find different options that were not really there in the script to tell the story, and because they feel that it's not really the ending that was planned doesn't really work or is sufficient to make an impact, and that's where I'm at, in the last film. I'm actually right now I just sent off to my editor a solution that would turn the film pretty much upside down.
So what is this new film? Can you tell us a bit more?
Oh, that yeah. It's a fun film about a couple that their car breaks down, and they involuntarily, I would say, have to spend the night at nudist camping,
Okay.
which is very confrontational, not only for them personally, but also for their relationship, because it actually brings up a lot of issues in the relationship. And it's a comedy. It's a bit too long now. And it can end in so many ways because it goes in kind of a very dramatic and absurd direction, but how we land the film is still up for discussion.
Interesting. So we touched on it earlier, but with the Oscar nomination,
Mm-hmm.
what is it sort of meant for you and the film? Are you promoting it differently? Are you doing lots of different things?
Yeah, that's a whole new experience for me, actually. And so there's so many things that I didn't know that we have to do. The thing is, once it gets shortlisted, it's pretty important to have a publicist.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very good publicist that sets up things for promoting the film, but also, yeah, to make, there are many other things that we kind of have to do when we get into that run, and that's a whole new experience. I live my life in obscurity, making short films that nobody really knows what's going on. They're like, Eirik, what do you really do? Like, what is this? And then this happens, and then suddenly it really it gets which is really good. It gets a lot of attention, and I'm really happy for that. Both for me personally, but also for the issue, the theme of the film, and everybody involved, which thing, also share my experience of day to day normal life is very unglamorous, I would say. But then once we get to the awards, it becomes something totally different. It's an adventure. It's like yeah, really, it's fun.